leaning back in my chair because today we're doing a Q&A. So I posted a little blurb on my Instagram. You guys left me a lot of questions, some of them in Spanish. So I'm just gonna start and do as many as I can without doing a 2-hour video. So if I don't see your question, if I skip your question, if I can't load your question, etc., 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 I'm sorry, but I will try my best. Besides, I need to pee, so I'm gonna try to do as many before I wet my pants. So Andrea for Isaac says, what's your biggest fear? I think one of my biggest fears is losing faith in myself. I know a lot of times when I get asked questions about my biggest fear or questions where I should be more like, oh, losing one of my children or if my husband got sick, my answers are always about me, but I always put myself in a position where if I'm not around, if I'm not healthy, if I'm not emotionally available, I can't serve them. You know, my biggest purpose in life is to serve my family. But if I stop functioning, like if I lose faith in myself, if I stop believing in myself, if I lose confidence in myself, then I'm not 100% for them. And that's something that's always on my mind is, am I okay? Am I healthy? Am I at a point where I can provide the best amount of me or attention or love or affection? If I'm not, I need to pump the brakes. I need to focus on myself. I need to re-energize. I need to refocus. I need to drop whatever I'm doing and then kind of find myself again. So probably I would say one of my biggest fears was if something happened to me or if I got sick or if I lost faith in myself. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Jesso Sky says, how many dogs do you have currently? Are you planning on getting any more pets? I love you and your videos. Oh, I love you too. I have 4 dogs. Every time I say 4, people go, I don't know, I have 4. It doesn't seem like a lot to me. I wish I could have more, but I can't with life and kids and my house and YouTube, you know? So I have 4 dogs and I have a little frog, one of those like fish tank frogs. That girl, and I don't even know if she's a girl, but because of her attitude, I'm pretty sure she's a diva, you know what I'm saying? She has some swag and some attitude. She's like this tiny little frog. I wish I could have more pets. I mean, but I'm so tied up right now with just life that I don't think I could devote the amount of love and attention that they deserve, because for me, a pet is a child. You know, they are a part of my family, equal opportunity over here. You know, they get equal amount of love and attention and care. And 4 is enough for me right now. 4, and then my 2 human babies, and my husband, which is like having another toddler. Don't tell him I said that. Megan Newbie says, when you first started, how did you keep the motivation when no one knew who you were? That's a funny story because I actually started my channel for Memorial Day weekend. I posted my first video, I think it was like on a Thursday, and I told my husband and my mom that if I didn't get 100 subscribers by the Monday, you know, following Memorial Day, that I would erase my channel. And I remember the following Monday, I had 17 subscribers. And I was like super discouraged. I always have really like ridiculous, impossible expectations for myself and goals. And I remember my husband's one of those men that don't impose on my life. They don't tell me how to live it, how to dress, how to be. He just lets me be. And he never interferes. So when I told him that, it was one of those few moments. I think there's been like maybe 3 occasions in our marriage where he like puts his foot down. And he totally scolded me. He was like, where'd you get that number from? It sounds like a number like you pulled out of your ass. Sorry, but he used that language. And I was like, what? I was like, hey, no. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, where'd you get that number from? What does that number mean? Like, where did you get it from? I was like, I don't know. I just started my channel, and you know, there's so many channels with like millions of subscribers, and I need a good foundation. He was like, yeah, but where did you get that time frame from? Because it doesn't sound like to me like you thought it out through picking a holiday weekend and then expecting to get 100 subscribers. So he kind of like slapped me into like real life, and he goes, why did you start this channel? I said, oh, well, you know, I wanted that interaction. I wanted to kind of teach a little bit still. I wanted to do something that I really liked. He said, so what does that have to do with the number that's next to the name of your channel? I don't think I've ever felt more stupid in my life, and I'm sure that wasn't his intention, but I was like, damn, he's right. So it's kind of one of those moments where it's like, are you doing it because you love it, or are you doing it because of the number? So he reminded me that the whole purpose of this channel wasn't to get subscribers, to get noticed, to get paid. The purpose of this channel was for me to find myself, and I did, and I love it, and I'm thankful every single day, but I'm much more thankful that I found a man that could kind of slap me around when he needed to. Now, a really important question is from For the Love of Makeup: pizza or brownies? You know, I used to love pizza, and I know I just broke like 3,000 hearts in America, or 30,000, but I got so sick of pizza from my kids and my husband that right now I'm like, if you show me a pizza, I will turn the other way and just close the door behind me. Like, I'm so sick of pizza right now, you guys. But I would have to say brownies, and I would have to say like those slightly undercooked brownies, like the ones that are like kind of a little bit wet and gooey in the middle, where you're like, is this gonna make me sick? Who cares? Because it's really good. Cindy Abigail, or Abigail, I don't know, said, what advice do you have for new YouTubers, those wanting to start a new channel? What kind of film material do you use? Or could you do a video explaining, showing your setup? I guess, I mean, my number one piece of advice is be yourself. I mean, be yourself, but grow, you know, do what makes you happy. Do content that makes you happy. Review products that you're excited about. Don't do something because, you know, you're kind of running with the herd. So I believe in being genuine to who you are. If that means you're quirky and weird, that's cool. If that means you're serious and an introvert, that's fine too. Like, be yourself, because it's almost like lying. If you're gonna start off with a lie, you're gonna have to carry that through. So with YouTube, you have to be yourself so that you're yourself throughout the entire process. And when you do change, like, oh my God, Dani, you've changed. It's not change, it's growth. You know, you're maturing, you're growing, you're making changes, you're trying something new. So always remain true to who you are and your values and the foundation of why you even got started. And I feel like you'll never lose your way. And when it comes to equipment, I mean, I don't think this question is fair for big YouTubers, because obviously when you start to develop and grow and become a little bit more, I don't know, tech savvy, you want to do some improvements, and so you invest in things like a ring light, or you invest things in like an external monitor or a fancier camera. But when I got started, and probably for 2 years, I've had my channel for 3 years, so probably for 2 years, I filmed on top of cereal boxes. I used a mirror as my viewfinder. I edited on Windows Media, Windows Movie Maker on my PC. In fact, my husband was the one that forced me to start using a Mac. This was another one of those moments where he was like, Dani, you know? He's the one that forced me to start using a Mac and learn iMovie, and thanks to my best friend Sam, she taught me how to use iMovie in a weekend. So it was just, you guys, this YouTube channel is definitely something that's like a family affair. If you surround yourself with people that support it, your husband, your boyfriend, your mom, your best friend, you're gonna get places. Because although you don't need people to support you and praise you, they definitely help inspire you and keep you grounded. So get started for the right reason, and don't go get yourself in debt with fancy lighting and an expensive camera you don't know how to use and a big ass Mac to edit. Like, don't. So it's really important to start humble and stay humble. My umbrella lights are still those like $30 ones from Amazon, you guys. Gwendolyn Culver says, what's your favorite thing to do on a Saturday morning? You guys, I don't like to do anything. I don't know if anyone is on the same boat as me, but when it comes down to the weekend and my husband having a little bit more leeway or free time with his schedule, I just like to be alone, like alone with no interruptions. I am never alone. I always have one of the dogs, four of the dogs, three of the dogs, one of the kids. Like, I am never alone. So when the weekend comes around, if there's even a slight opportunity where I can sneak away, even if it's to my bedroom for 15 or 20 minutes, I jump on it because I never get to be alone, and I enjoy just sitting quietly and just like doing nothing. I know that sounds almost impossible to believe, but I really like to do nothing because there's always something on my plate. You know what I mean? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, I'm gonna sound crazy like I'm just sitting in a padded room. Paola Evia, my friend Paola. Hi, Paola. She said, what's your favorite go-to recipe that your family enjoys? Probably albondigas, because it's delicious. It's my mom's recipe, and it's also a way where I could sneak vegetables into my 4-year-old, which he hates. Albondigas are just like a meatball soup with big chunks of vegetables, and so what I do is in the ground beef, I shred vegetables and I hide it in there so they have no idea what they're eating. And it's so delicious. My husband loves it. Even my in-laws like it. So it's been one of those dishes that's kind of like cross-culturally, like kind of crossed over from my Mexican mom to now my Taiwanese husband loves it to now my children like it. I don't know. It's delicious, you guys. Risha, I hope I'm saying that right. It's S-R-I-J-A. Says, what's your favorite foundation when you're in a hurry? Something you can blend with your fingers. Girl, if I'm in a hurry, I don't do my makeup. I'll just do sunscreen. So most of the time, it's sunscreen. But I guess if I really, really had to pick, probably the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I love that stuff. That's awesome. Dani I5 says, what's your guilty pleasure, or what do you like to do for you time? I already covered this. Nothing. Like, seriously, guys, you have to believe me. Nothing. Like, I will just sit there on the corner of my bed and be like, no joke. Dunielle says, hey, Dani, I love you and your videos. As a nail artist, I'm so curious to hear what you would say is your all-time favorite nail polish. Oh, you can't do that to me, girl. Probably OPI, my boyfriend Scales Walls, or Pop Sugar. Is it Pop Sugar Mint Magic? Pop Polish? Oh. How is it my favorite if I don't even know the brand? It's Pop, you know what I'm talking about. Pop something Mint Magic. Oh, you guys. RGB Monarch is another color that's just like, you know which one? Like, it's like a hot, bright orange. The brand RGB has one of the best formulas I have ever tried in my life. It's probably why the nail polish is like $20 a bottle. Caitlin Spoon says, what jobs did you have before YouTube and your dream vacation? So my dream vacation is definitely Greece, probably Santorini. I have dreams and fantasies about that place. And then jobs before YouTube, honey. I started working when I was 13. I was an office assistant at a school district. I have done kind of like office management at the university I went to in the academic computing department. I worked at Victoria's Secret in retail. I also worked at an outlet mall in retail. I was a surgical coordinator for a really big university hospital in San Diego. I was also a nutritionist for a short period of time before I became a culinary arts teacher. I taught culinary arts at a high school level for, it was supposed to be juniors and seniors, but I actually had freshmen and sophomores as well. What else have I done? I have done everything. You know, I've never been one of those people that is like, oh, I'm too good for that, or oh, I only want to do what's going to be a stepstone into my career choice. It's always been, for me, it's always been anything that I do is a stepstone into my future, because doing something is better than doing nothing. And so when I was in college, I had 2 part-time jobs, and I was going to school full-time at the university, and I was going to school part-time at culinary school. So it was one of those moments in my life where I was basically somewhere at all times. I got home at 11 p.m. and I got up at 5 a.m. So it was just one of those moments in my life where it was, you know, back-to-back something, a job, a class, a project, a presentation, something. It was always something, and I really wish I had enjoyed that time in my life more instead of been like, oh my god, now I have to go here, now I have to go there, now I have to go. That was easy. That was easy compared to like marriage and kids. Jillian Han Baum, oh gosh, I hope I'm saying that right, said, could you do a little overview of your LASIK experience? I got LASIK when I was 18, but I had it done when I was 18. So back then they were still cutting the cornea with a blade. Now when you get LASIK done, they cut the cornea with a laser, they flip it over, they laser you up, and then they seal it back up. Back then they actually had to cut the cornea, you know, lift it up, do the laser, and then seal it back up. So it was a little bit more of an invasive procedure, not necessarily invasive. You felt it more. But I thought it was fine. You know, I didn't think it was painful. I didn't think it was uncomfortable. In fact, if I had to get LASIK done once a week or once a month so that I wouldn't have to use glasses or contacts anymore, I would. It's that much more pleasant than having to wear glasses or contacts. Now, keep in mind that my vision was atrocious. Like from here to here, I couldn't read my phone. It was like Coke bottle glasses. I was extremely blind. So literally, I would have to get up and put in my contacts or I couldn't see anything. So for me, LASIK was kind of a lifesaver. It definitely gave me freedom that I didn't know I could have. So I love LASIK for that. And now, I mean, with laser, they just do the lift the flap, close the flap, and you're done. You wear those goofy glasses for a little bit, add a couple of moisturizing, soothing drops, and you're good. I never had that like dry eye feeling for a year after the procedure, none of that stuff. Your eyes feel a little bit dry after the procedure, but it almost feels like when you get eyeshadow or powder in your eye, that's exactly what it feels like. And it doesn't go away. So when you get that in your mind, like, hey, dude, I just had LASIK, this is not gonna go away for like 2 or 3 days, you're fine. Plus they give you this little pill that makes you sleepy and you sleep it off for like the worst part of it. Honestly, you guys, if you are able to get LASIK, do it and thank me later because you're going to get freedom that you didn't know you could get. Sarah Mary 101 says, have you ever taken your kids to Disney? Hell no! Are you crazy, girl? I think Disneyland is one of those places where you cannot take a child that does not fully understand the concept of this is a line, I had to stand in it for 2 hours, and then I will be rewarded, potentially scared, at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna turn into a struggle, stress, fussy kids, hot kids, thirsty kids. Then you have to go to the potty, you have to carry the stroller. I mean, it's just too much work. The whole point of Disneyland is to enjoy yourself, and I think until you're in like 1st or 2nd grade, if you guys have a better experience, let us know in the comments. But for me, I'm like, no thanks. Miss Lorna Quinn says, first of all, Dani, I love your positivity. Thank you. She says, how have you managed to stay so incredibly grounded? My mom, you guys. I remember the first time I got to, I think it was like 1,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers. It was a significant amount of number where I felt like a peacock, but it wasn't significant enough in actual YouTube numbers to even gross income. And my mom called me and she said, are you proud of yourself? And I was like, yes. She goes, yeah, I'm proud of you too. But when you get to 100,000 or 1 million, I need you to be the same girl that lived in my house until she was 24 years old. She said, you need to stay humble, you need to remember where you came from, and I don't want you turning into some snobby diva, a couple of bleep words. My mom is from Aguascalientes, so her language can be a little bit colorful sometimes, especially if she's emotional. And she was like, just promise me that you're gonna be that girl that I raised for 24 years in my home. And it reminds me that it doesn't matter how many fancy diplomas with seals you have on a wall, or it doesn't matter how many cars you have in the garage. It doesn't matter how padded your bank account is or what your line of credit is. What matters at the end of the day is how you feel and how you made others feel. So if you're gonna be one of those people that is poor as poor, but helping people out with what little you have, or rich as rich and not doing anything for anyone else, I'd rather be the poor person, because at the end of the day, that person's gonna go home, lay their head on their humble pillow and be like, I was a thug today, I took care of someone, I took care of my business, I made someone happy. This person's gonna go to bed, lay down on their fancy ass pillow and be empty, you know? What do you have? Did you make anyone happy? Did you make anything of significance? Did you do anything that made anything? I don't know. I feel like the biggest happiness comes from making other people happy. And if you can't do that, then what's the point? Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be alone and happy, are you really happy? I don't know. So let's continue with Leslie Nicole. She says, how did you get your body back so quickly after having a baby? Okay, I have good genes. I have my dad's side of the family body type. So everyone is very long and lean. We have like these long skinny fingers, long skinny feet that look like cow tongues. You know, we're just long and lean. I gained a lot of weight with my first pregnancy, almost 70 pounds. With my second pregnancy, I knew better. With my first pregnancy, I was listening to everybody. Everybody was like, eat more, indulge, have some cake. Oh, you want a cheeseburger at 3 in the morning? Let me go get it for you. My mother-in-law was the worst. You know, she was trying her best to, hey, don't do that. Do you guys hear Ernesta? My mother-in-law was trying her best to be my mom in Texas because I had just moved. It was my first pregnancy. My mom wasn't here, and so she was like, eat, and here's this, and here's that. She would come to my house every day with like cookies and candy and cake and fruit and just everything. And I gained so much weight. With my second pregnancy, I was like, you know what, Dani? You know better. Like, you know better. You're not gonna gain 70 pounds again. Like, that's ridiculous. So I took care of myself with my second child, and I literally just ate what I needed to eat. And I think that's a common misconception when it comes down to pregnancy is, oh, it's a free pass to do whatever the hell I want. No, it's not. Because at the end of the day, when that baby checks out of the garage, you're the one living with that broken down garage, okay? So listen, you are leasing out the space for 9 months. And once that 9 months is up and that lease expires, you have to live with yourself, not the baby. So I used a lot of undergarments that helped keep my skin tight. So at the beginning of my pregnancy, it was those belly bands. People tend to use them to use the same pant. You guys, if you hear eating, it's because Ernesta is being an animal over here. People use these belly bands so that they don't have to buy jeans or pants during pregnancy. I use them under my clothes. So I guess it's called like a, sort of like a form of a garter, but it's not tight. It's just something that you're wearing to feel like you're wearing something and to remind you like, hey, keep it tight, keep it tight. I've always been someone that has like my midsection tight. Like I always sit almost like squeezing in my gut. I don't know, for some reason I think it's my mom when I was little, she would be like, sume la panza. So my entire pregnancy, I used belly bands and undergarments, kind of like Spanx types that would go over my tummy. So I try to keep everything firm. I would eat right. I would eat the meals that I was supposed to. I graze. I'm a huge grazer. I eat, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 times a day. I'm not a big fan of sitting down to eat a big meal because then I feel like crap afterwards. I'm also a really big fan of like green juice. My diet consists of very healthy food and then really bad food. I just crave, by nature, healthy food. I crave salad and I crave green juice and I crave lots of fruit and I crave just nutrient dense raw foods. but I also crave like donuts and cake and brownies. So because I have my background in culinary arts and nutrition, I know what tastes great together, but I also know when I'm trying to pull a fast one. And I'm like, listen, you already ate X, Y, and Z today, so you need to kick back, put down the Cinnabon, because you ate 2 yesterday. You know what I mean? So I indulge, and I eat whatever the heck I want, but I also remember, and I'm cognizant of the choices that I've made. So don't use pregnancy as an excuse to forget about yourself, because you have to live with yourself. And then also, after pregnancy, my motivation was always fitting back into my clothes. And I have a really great husband that's like, just buy more clothes, don't worry about it. But I'm so hard on myself that I'm like, I need to fit back into my clothes. Guess what? Newsflash, my jeans never fit me back after either one of my pregnancies. So after both pregnancies, I had to buy new jeans, but it wasn't because I gained weight, it was because my body morphed. So that's another thing to consider. I don't know where I got to this point, but basically, having kids is awesome. It's the best thing that could ever happen to you, in my opinion, if that's something that you want in your life, but it takes a toll on your body. So you gotta kind of learn to let go a little bit and then gain control back again once they evacuate the building. You know what I'm saying? Brittany McClellan says, how do you balance your personal life and your YouTube life? Is it hard, and do you have to compromise? It is so hard. It is not even funny how hard it is, which is why I had to cut back on my schedule. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I would post 4 to 5 times a week. After I had my second son, I was just so overworked and so tired. I wasn't enjoying myself anymore, that I was like, peace out, Cub Scout, 2 times a week, and that's all I can do. It was such a relief and such a weight off my shoulders, but my analytics or my stats here on YouTube just plummeted. I lost subscribers, I lost view time, my income cut down in half. Like, the worst possible thing that could have happened to my like score or my analytics here on YouTube happened, and for some reason it didn't bother me one bit, because I can finally have some control over my time. If I have to go to like this little luncheon picnic thing with my son, I'm not like, oh my God, later I have to edit the video for tomorrow. Like, I don't have that looming over me. I still get to look forward to it, you know? And it was turning into my job, which it really is, but I didn't start doing it so that I could get paid. I started doing it because I wanted that social interaction and I wanted to make friends. And so once the fun starts to drain out of things, and once something that's fun starts to cause stress, it's not fun anymore. So it was definitely hard. And now it's still a little tricky because I still have deadlines and I still have collaborations and things like that. But I'm able to really plan things out now that I don't have that commitment of posting so often. You know, I have my calendar laid out. I plan things out, you know, as best as I can. And even so, it's still hard. Like, oh my God, Wesley has an ear infection. Wesley's my Westie. Wesley has an ear infection. We have to go to the vet. Oh, you know what? Now we have to go to, I don't know, some little musical recital for the 4th of July. Or there's always something that the kids have to do. I mean, he's 4. How could he have so many social activities? This kid has more things to do than me. It's weird, you guys. Waynette T, I hope that's right. What was your most successful moment with a makeup product, and what product was it? I don't know if this is what you're asking me, but the one thing that I thought about was the Tarte I'll have to insert a picture because I don't even remember what it's called. When my channel was like a little baby channel, I reviewed a foundation from Tarte that comes in that little like cylinder type container, like that little round container, and it has that mesh where you push in your brush and you get the powder out and then you apply it to the skin, and it was so weird because it had that little pushy mesh or whatever. So I reviewed that product on my channel, and that was one of the very first products that opened up the door for me as a YouTuber. That's what made me searchable. That product from Tarte, and then the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. Those 2 products really opened a lot of doors for me when it came to being discoverable. Now, this was when makeup companies weren't taking advantage of their consumers by releasing new product after new product after new collection after new collection, like every 2 minutes. You know, this was when it was maybe once a season or maybe once every 6 months they had a massive launch. So one of my biggest tips for upcoming YouTubers is pick an item that is trendy and that's on fire and make yourself searchable, because a lot of times we think, oh my god, being a YouTuber is so expensive, I have to buy all the new products that are out there. No, you don't. You could do all your content based on the product that you already have in your collection, even if you go through your collection, like reviewing item by item by item by item, swatching item by item by item. Like, you have an infinite amount of content with the amount of makeup you have in your collection already, trust me. But I would recommend maybe once a month or once every 2 months or once every quarter reviewing a product that is really hot. For example, the Kylie lip kit, if you can get it, or the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter quads. There's 3 quads that have those highlighter powders. Review those. Pick a really hot product that is extremely trendy and make yourself searchable, so that when I go to YouTube and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about buying the Kylie lip kit, is it worth the hype? Your video pops up. You could have 3 subscribers and your video will pop up. So make yourself searchable that way. But so my success story with makeup would probably have to be with that Tarte foundation or the Better Than Sex mascara, because that was one of the very first times in my YouTube career where I felt like a YouTuber, you know, like, oh my god, like all these people are discovering me, like I'm actually Coffee Break with Dani. People are leaving me comments like, is this real life? Do I need to link the product? Like, oh, I need to link the product. Let me link the product for them. It was one of my first moments where I was like, that's right, I just linked a product for my subscribers to make it convenient. And I remembered why I don't do Q&A videos, because I can talk for hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it short right here, and then I will record an additional Q&A, maybe like a part 2. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I think that's it, guys. If you guys found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys.